Okay, YouTube, I'm here for yet another unscripted review and just chilling here in the parking lot with some deer. Or not parking lot, in the park. With some deer, obviously at night because I'm reviewing a headlight. So sorry that the video is going to be like mostly dark. So yeah, let's jump right into this. So as for the light itself, I would say if I gave it a rating out of 10, I probably would give it like maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10. I don't know. It's getting better, I guess. So I'd probably give it a 5 or 6 out of 10. Yeah, I'd give it a 5 or 6. Just considering the price and the issues I'm having with it. So yeah, speaking of the issues, let's jump right into the issues. So this is the adjuster right here, this little thumb screw right there. That you use to adjust the height of the light. And I can tell you for certain, I would much prefer something that's just a screw that requires a tool to tighten and loosen. Because, I don't know, I can't get this tight enough that the light is like 100% stable. I mean, it's not horrible, but, I mean, if I were to grab the light, I could move it by hand. I'm not gonna, because I have it lined up to show you, like, the distance and stuff. That it shines. But anyway, so yeah, I'm really not a big fan whatsoever of that issue. And then also the app for the light is garbage, like absolute trash. You can totally tell that it was like designed by people in China that don't really care about making things convenient for people. I mean, literally the only thing that the app is useful for is changing the settings of the light. So like, um, let's see. The only thing I've used the app for is to turn the brightness of the light up. So when you get the light originally out of the box, it's set to like 30% brightness. And so I set it to 100% brightness because, if I got a giant battery pack on here, what's the worst that's going to happen? I kill it in like 2 days, which is not the case. I've heard a lot of people say that the reason the battery pack is so big is because the light's so badass, and so you need a big battery pack for the light. I can tell you that's not really the case. Um, Especially if you don't mind charging it somewhat frequently. So, like, for example, I think I'm at 3 out of 4 bars of charge right now, and I've used it for, I think, like, I don't know, 2 hours, something like that. Which, I mean, I guess I don't know how long you're intending to use your light for, but for me, I could use a battery pack that's half the size of this one and be okay with it still. If not even like a third of the size. So, um, there's a little handlebar attachment that comes with it that I haven't figured out how to use yet. I don't feel like sitting through the user manual to learn how to use something that I barely care about using. You would think that it'd be a little bit more user friendly, to turn on and connect and stuff like that, but unfortunately it wasn't user friendly enough for me to figure out without the instructions, and since I don't plan on using it, I don't plan on stumbling around with it. And with it, they include just like a little Velcro strap. The part that attaches to the handlebars, like the actual like meat and taters of it, has a silicone pad on the bottom, so it shouldn't rotate too much. But the Velcro strap itself does not have silicone on it, so I can't speak to how good or bad it is. Like I said, I haven't used it at all. So let's see. Other things with it. I wanted to use the app itself to change from high to low beam, but that was impossible. Absolutely impossible. Like I said, the app is literally useful for nothing but setting the intensity of the light in both of the settings. Speaking of which, you can cycle through the settings easily. I'm doing, yeah, there we go. Easily, I guess. So what you do is on the back of the light here. So as you can see, the 4 slashes here are the battery indicator, and there's the power button. So to turn it on, you just press the power button, and then you press and hold it, and the light will come on. Then you do double press to switch between the two modes. So it could be harder, but it could also be a lot easier because I'm having to move my hand from here all the way to there, find a button, and press it just hard enough to make sure that it cycles through the modes, but not so hard, because if you press it too hard, the light's going to rotate because you can't get this little thumb screw tight enough. So here's the battery pack down here. It's pretty big, and unfortunately I got to get a headset bag up here for it because, as you can tell, my tire has been making contact with it. That's why it's so crooked. I also wrecked my bike, and whenever I wrecked it, one of the Velcro shafts broke, and so now I'm using a zip tie, as you could see there, right there. But these Velcro straps do have silicone on them, as you can see right there. So the little squiggly line on there is silicone to, add grip to it, so that way it's not rotating too much. And it does do a good job. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty good. I'm impressed with that. It's USB Type-C charging, and just like up there with the light right here, as you kind of just seen, yeah, right there, you can see the little bars for the battery indicator down there. It also comes with a 3-foot long extension. Well, it's like 3 foot and 2 inches long extension, so you could potentially run the light battery all the way back to like an emergency bag, or maybe like a back rack bag or something. But it also comes with a helmet mount for the light itself, so you could mount the light to your helmet. I think that's about everything to talk about with it. So I guess I'll go ahead and show you the light. And even though I'm going to show you the light now, I'm also going to show you the light in a short that I'm going to be recording in about 10 minutes from now. So that way you can see what it looks like in a more confined space, or, more so like actual riding conditions, as opposed to me just shining it down this little gravel path here. So let's go ahead and do that. So like I said, press the button and it'll show you the battery indicator on both of them. So I'm at 3 out of 4 bars. Oh, I'm also curious if you can turn it on from down here. So it appears as if the button on the battery pack itself is just to show you battery life. It is not to control the light itself. So at least you know that now. So yeah, I'm going to press it and then press and hold. So there's 2 modes on this light, and the company doesn't create definitions. And since they don't create definitions, I'm going to use the correct definition. There's 2. So what a spotlight is a light that illuminates a spot, like a spot. A floodlight floods the area with light. The company thinks that those are backwards. I'm not going to use the wrong terminology, so bear that in mind. So here's the spotlight, and here's what it looks like, distance-wise. And I would definitely say that it competes with cars. It's 12,000 lumens, and so, it's about car range, I would say, especially the brighter lights, like the LED lights and stuff. Definitely good, I would say. And then to switch to the floodlight mode, there's floodlight. And it is, definitely lit up out here. But yeah, also, speaking of this, don't run the light like I am right now too much, because it does have built-in cooling vents and everything. It does get really hot. Even just like putting your hand in front of the light with it on, your hand will heat up pretty quick. And I'll go ahead and show you those cooling vents. So there's inlet right there. And right there is the outlet. Those 3 little deals there. I think I already said it's USB Type-C charging. The connector for the light itself is a little triangle with 3 prongs, if that matters to anybody. Other than that, though, yeah, I think that's everything for now, at least. I'm gonna go get that video, that little short that I'm gonna record of me riding around in a more wooded area, so you can see just how well this thing would work for like some nighttime off-roading shenanigans. But as for now, I hope you guys enjoyed the demonstration of this light and review. Like I said, I mean, the light itself, I would say, is 10 out of 10. The problems that I have with it, again, are the fact that it's not easy whatsoever for me to switch between high and low beam. The fact that the height adjustment is supposed to be something that you do on the go as opposed to something that you set and forget. And the fact that the app is garbage. Oh my god, the app is so bad. I mean, I guess it's nice that they have an app. I guess, you know? But, you know, the fact that I downloaded the app, made my changes one time, and deleted the app, I mean, it just goes to show you how useful the app realistically is. It's not very useful at all. Oh, and something else I have an issue with, too, is the app for this. In order for you to connect your phone to the headlight for the app, you have to, and I mean you have to, give them location services. So they have to know where you're at in order for you to be able to change the settings on your light, which absolutely blew my mind. So that's part of why I deleted the app instead of just keeping it. But, you know, if it wasn't for those issues, this light would be absolutely flawless. You know, the only issue that I would have if I could change it out for a more permanent height adjuster and a better app would, oh, and the high and low beam thing would just be the size of the battery. This battery is massive. Massive. It is way overkill for my needs, at least. Is that a wasp? No, it's not. It's a skeeter eater. Yeah, it's way overkill. It's heavy. It would definitely be nice to have, you know, it would also be nice to have something that like had a third strap on it so that I could mount it directly to the headset up here instead of having to get a headset bag. But, you know, you can't win them all, right? So anyways, I hope you guys have a decent day.